When it comes to assessing the wealth of countries, many believe that the richest of them can be identified with the help of annual gross domestic product. However, a high volume of GDP nominal does not necessarily guarantee a high standard of living. For example, India's GDP nominal is around $4.15 trillion. But even with this very high macroeconomic indicator, there is no mass well-being in the country. More than 60% of India's nearly 1.4 billion people live on less than $5 a day, which according to the World Bank median is below the poverty line. In conclusion, its economy is only large due to its sheer population, yet the quality of life and wealth distribution among its residents is inconsistent. Evidently, the more accurate indicator to determine a country's wealth is its GDP per capita. This measure captures the country's total economic output and divides it among the total population. It is a standard indicator used to assess a nation's overall wealth, average standard of living, and economic development. Living in these wealthy countries come with heaps of advantages, like higher average incomes, better healthcare, superior education systems, advanced infrastructure, and a stronger social safety net for citizens. The countries listed in this video are ranked according to the latest IMF World Economic Outlooks report. But be aware, microstates and overseas territories like Monaco, Liechtenstein, or Bermuda are excluded in this video.
So with all that in mind, here are the top 15 richest countries to live in the world.
Number 15. Belgium. Located in the heart of the continent, housing the headquarters of the European Union and NATO, Belgium is a melting pot of influences from around the world. According to the latest IMF report, its 11.8 million inhabitants have a GDP per capita of around $65,000. The quality of life is high. Crime rates are low in general, especially outside cities like Brussels and Antwerp. The country is home to an outstanding healthcare system with some of the lowest private healthcare costs in the European Union. Employment is a big reason people move to Belgium. Many regions are experiencing labor shortages, which makes it easier for newcomers to find opportunities. However, living in Belgium comes with a significant cost, and the good life in Belgium incurs a high cost of living. The country's robust economy and stable job market can help offset the expenses for expats who can secure well-paying employment. Number 14. Germany. Germany is facing a period of economic and structural decline, though it is not a total collapse. While it remains a global economic powerhouse, it is struggling with severe structural challenges, aging demographics, and recent geopolitical shocks. A growing number of young Germans are considering moving out of the country, with approximately 1 in 5 actively planning to immigrate, and up to 40% contemplating a move to neighboring Switzerland and Austria. But even with all the political and social turmoils, it's still a wealthy country, with a GDP per capita of roughly $65,000. Moreover, the living standard are still exceptional, with quality healthcare, education, and an easy transportation system. Number 13. Austria. Located in the heart of Europe, Austria attracts thousands of expatriates each year, drawn by its exceptional quality of life, rich cultural heritage, and safe environment. The country boasts a population of approximately 9.1 million people, out of which around 1.8 million are expats. Its capital, Vienna, regularly ranks as one of the best cities in the world to live in, while several other cities and towns are renowned for their welcoming hospitality, stunning views, and fantastic career opportunities. The GDP per capita of the country is estimated to be around $67,000. But even with a high GDP per capita, wealth distribution in Austria is highly unequal, with the richest 20% of households owning around 80% of the total net wealth. But then again, its quality of life significantly high. Salaries are on par with the living expenses, and work-life balance is one of the best in the world. Those looking for a job in Austria can find employment in understaffed industries such as project management, engineering, research, finance, and logistics. Number 12. Qatar. Qatar is the most wealthiest nation in the Middle East. Almost 13% of the global oil supply originates from here. This natural resource brings in tens of billions of dollars to the country of less than 3 million residents each year. Therefore, its GDP per capita clocks at around $68,000. Quality of life for its local citizens is great. Even those holding high-paying jobs in the petroleum sectors live lavishly. But for low-income migrants, living conditions are very bad, and oftentimes such individuals reside in crowded quarters. Plus, the ongoing conflict with Iran has sparked renewed fears and uncertainty across the Middle East. So as a whole, moving to Qatar, even for work, isn't as appealing as it used to be. Number 11. Sweden. With 10.7 million inhabitants, landscapes ranging from Baltic archipelagos to Arctic Lapland, and one of the world's most innovative economies, Sweden draws thousands of expats every year. The country boasts a GDP per capita of $70,000, along with very low inflation rate of just 0.5%. Though Sweden has one of the largest and most productive economies in the world, it is not without its struggles. It has an unemployment rate of 8.7%, 2 full percentage points higher than the worldwide unemployment rate per the World Bank, and one of the highest among the world's richest countries. The income tax payable in Sweden on all income is very high compared to other OECD countries. But then again, the quality of life is high, with an abundance of economic opportunities and extensive, efficient social welfare. Despite strict immigration laws, around a fifth of the Swedish population comes from a foreign background, especially in large cities such as Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Malmö. Qualified expats with experience in the fields of IT, energy, and media can find plenty of jobs here. Number 10. Australia. From the dazzling lights and the buzz of big cities to the sweeping isolation of the outback, Australia is a land of contrasts. Although many expats moving to Australia are often attracted by exciting work opportunities, they often stay for the country's wonderful quality of life and friendly people. Current GDP per capita of the land down under is around $75,000, a number that is forecasted to rise consistently throughout the decade. It has long been a destination of choice for expats from all walks of life, including students looking to take advantage of the country's excellent education. Young professionals and families looking for a better environment to raise their children also love Australia, while some pensioners looking to spend their golden years in the sun also move to Australia. That said, the government places a high premium on expertise and enforces a strict screening process that aims to limit immigration to professionals with the desired skills and experience. Number 9. The Netherlands. Clogs, tulips, canals, and windmills are some of the stereotypical images associated with the Netherlands. But this small European nation has so much more on offer. The gross domestic product per capita is currently recorded at $79,000. Average salaries in the country are also high, and almost 80% of the households belong to the middle class, which indicates that wealth is evenly distributed here. Cities like Amsterdam and Rotterdam provide a lively cultural scene, diverse employment opportunities, and excellent amenities, but housing and congestion can be challenging. Regardless of where you settle, the efficient public transport system ensures you'll be well connected. While finding work can be more complex if you're a non-EU citizen, demand for international talent remains high, particularly in specialized fields. The most lucrative and thriving industries for expats are in the sectors of technology, renewable energy, agrotech, and logistics. Number 8. Denmark. The GDP per capita of Denmark clocks at $83,000, and it is frequently ranked as one of the happiest nations in the world. This isn't purely by accident. As a model welfare society, Denmark offers an astonishing range of free services to its residents, all designed to make life simple. Of course, the money for all these free services has to come from somewhere, and here in Denmark, the solution is taxation. Resident tax rates start at 40%, though can top 60% for the country's high earners. Due to the lowest rates of corruption, 90% of Danes are happy to pay their taxes and see it as a good investment. A Danish taxpayer can save thousands of euros that an American or Canadian person may pay on university, tuition fees, childcare, private health, or transportation costs. Furthermore, salaries in Denmark are some of the highest in the world. Its minimum wage alone is more than twice that of the USA. Number 7. The United States. Despite all the recent setbacks, political turmoil, and a very high rate of inflation, the USA still holds the world's largest economy, with the top tech, banking, pharmaceuticals, and entertainment industry in the entire globe. Being the fourth largest country in the world, the quality of life and GDP per capita varies here from one state to another. For example, average per capita GDP in its southern and midwestern states is much lower when compared to northern and western states. Prominent states like New York, Massachusetts, Washington, and Delaware boast a higher GDP per capita than some major countries exceeding $110,000 per person. While states like Mississippi, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Arkansas have the lowest clocking at just $52,000. However, collectively as a whole, the country's GDP per capita, according to the current IMF report, is estimated to be around $94,000. Number 6. Norway. Norway's GDP per capita is the highest out of all the Scandinavian nations. This is mostly due to Norway's massive North Sea oil and gas reserves, a smaller population to divide that wealth by, and an immensely successful sovereign wealth fund. The country's mix of economic success, social welfare systems, and egalitarian policies keeps Norway at the top of the United Nations Human Development Index. Its capital, Oslo, stands among the planet's priciest cities, but it is worth keeping in mind that the salary packages are also higher. In the end, despite the steep cost of living, high taxation, and chilly winters, Norway wins expats over with its stellar quality of life and work-life balance. Number 5. Singapore. Sitting on the southern edge of Malaysia, Singapore is an important shipping point, connecting much of mainland Asia to the rest of the world. Its GDP per capita of around $107,000 is the highest in the continent. Its residents benefit from its strong economy with numerous job opportunities. As a matter of fact, the unemployment rate in this country is one of the lowest in the world. However, it is essential to note that relocating to Singapore can be a challenging endeavor, as employers and businesses predominantly seek skilled and qualified expatriates. Nevertheless, individuals possessing degrees in fields such as banking, IT, transportation, and logistics will find ample opportunities to thrive in this conducive environment. Another thing to note is that the cost of living in this city is also very high, but then again, the purchasing power of its residents is also on par with its living expenses. Number 4. Iceland. With a GDP per capita of $110,000, Iceland looks rich on paper because of its very small population and a productive, high-value economy built on fishing, renewable energy, tourism, and a few specialized service sectors. For Icelanders, that wealth translates into clean cities, low crime, strong public services, high wages, and a level of social trust that many countries struggle to achieve. But for expats, the labor market is small. Opportunities are limited compared with larger economies, and the cost of living can be shocking. Rent, food, restaurants, and many imported goods are expensive. Winters are long and dark, and the country's geographic isolation can feel very real after the initial excitement wears off. That said, none of this changes the bigger picture. Iceland is still a wealthy, well-run country for its citizens. Number 3. Switzerland. Switzerland is one of Europe's most appealing countries to settle in. Thousands of people from neighboring Germany, France, and Italy relocate here annually, and it's easy to see why. The compact nation is not only stunningly beautiful, but those who live there also enjoy a high standard of living, good salaries, and, of course, all that fresh mountain air. Being among the most wealthiest nations in the world, with its GDP per capita of $126,000, its residents enjoy a fruitful life. Securing a job in Switzerland as an expat can be challenging, especially for non-EU citizens who must meet strict visa and work permit requirements. But those with expertise in the field of IT, banking, pharmaceuticals, and engineering can find ample opportunities. The gross average net salary is estimated to be around $9,800, out of which around 15% to 15% is deducted in the form of taxes and Social Security. Number 2. Ireland. Ireland first entered the top 10 list of global GDP per capita in the last decade or so, jumping from outside the top 20 directly to the top 5 globally. This sudden rise was driven by massive economic revisions and UK's exit from the European Union. As a result of Brexit, prominent EU companies have moved their headquarters to its capital city of Dublin because it remained inside the EU while still being English-speaking. This pushed the country's GDP per capita to extraordinary levels, currently clocking at $140,000. But the statistic can be misleading. For most foreigners, Ireland is not an easy place to move for work unless they already have a strong profile. The main opportunities are in tech, pharma, engineering, finance, and a few specialist corporate roles. Outside those areas, the job market is much smaller than people expect. The biggest weakness is housing. Rents are high, supply is tight, and the cost of living has become a serious burden, especially in its capital city of Dublin. Number 1. Luxembourg. Luxembourg is one of the smallest countries in the world, both in terms of landmass and population, with fewer than 700,000 people. Foreign residents make up nearly half of this total, with expats accounting for 46% of the population, and foreign-born residents representing a majority, over 52%. Its GDP per capita of a whopping $158,000 makes it the richest independent country in the world. With a government that looks after its residents and values well-being, it hosts an extraordinary number of pros that could convince anyone who is uncertain about making the move to this small, landlocked European country. However, moving here is easier said than done. Due to the competitive nature of the local job market and the lack of industries, there are always less vacancies for job openings. Thanks for watching. If you find this video informative, be sure to leave a like. If not, then a dislike. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content.